Oh my god, this is literally the biggest storm ever recorded here in Belgium. Wow.
What are you doing?
Can you just... Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Ignace Aleya and welcome to the CreatorGalaxy.com space station. Here in space, we are experimenting with intergalactic filmmaking skills and visual effects. In today's video, we're gonna see how to create an awesome storm scene, just like you saw in the intro. And it's actually based on a previous video we made where we created super realistic snow. It went super viral in the community, which was really awesome. So in today's video, we're going to tackle another weather situation. We're gonna make storm in After Effects. If you want to follow along with the exact same footage as me, you can download that with the link in the description. And I also have this storm image that you can get at pexels.com, which is a website where you can get royalty-free images. And yeah, you can use them in your videos. Whoa, the sun is coming in so super bright here in space. I'm super close to the sun right now. Kidding. I actually just have a super awesome light. Right here, the bad boy of today. One of my favorite lights when it comes to fill light. It has super bright LEDs, and on this light you can just easily take off this diffuser with magnets. So that's really cool. You just put them on here and okay, it's on there. This is the second wave 576 bicolor kit, which goes all the way from 3200 to 5600. So you can really have those nice outside daylights, or if you want a warm evening sunset light, you can do that as well. And it goes so bright, it's crazy. They're super robust and they come with a super handy packaging, so you can easily put all your lights into the bag and travel with them. Anyway, it's really my preferred light right now in the studio to have like accurate color temperatures and just to fill my face a little bit to be a little bit more beautiful for you guys. Thanks, Jake. You want to know what else is giant? Our VFX collection at CreatorGalaxy.com. Let's jump into Adobe After Effects. Okay, so here we are. I have this footage file, which you can find with the link in the description below. I will drag this into a new composition. So the first thing we have to do is the most boring part of this video, I promise, but we have to do some rotoscoping. So we're gonna click here on the pen tool, zoom in onto our roof here, and just key out the entire thing. So I'll be back in a few hours. Alright, so right now we have something like this. Good luck with that if you don't have a tripod. No, really, please use a tripod. Okay, so we're going to press F on the keyboard, feather it a little bit with 2 pixels, and then we want to click on this, and we want to search for Advanced Spill Suppressor. That's going to take away our blues a little bit, which is actually ideal because we don't want too much colors when we're going to introduce our storm effect. Next, we want to import our storm sky effect right here. So I'm going to drag that below my video layer and I will drag it down a little bit. If you want to create more depth in the sky, you can also just squeeze it like this and you will see a lot more depth in your scene instead of just scaling it up. Right here, I like this. Okay, so once you're satisfied, we want to animate our sky a little bit. So we can move it from here, press P on the keyboard, click on the stopwatch for the position, move all the way till the end, and then just move it over just like that. And right now we already have some animation in our sky. Maybe this is a little bit too fast, so we're going to the half, create a keyframe, and drag this till the end here. And there we have it. To add a little bit more variation in our sky, we do want to add some kind of displacement in there. It's just going to make it look a little bit more like a video instead of an image just going from right to left. So in order to do that, we're going to click on our sky, go to Effects, and we're going to apply a Distort Turbulence Displacement. We're going to set it to 5 or something like that. And then we want to decrease the size, or actually the amount, to something like 10. And you can actually see some variation in here. So then we go to the beginning of our timeline, click on the stopwatch for the offset turbulence right here, go all the way till the end, and then we want to move this to the right, maybe to something like 10,000. And that's going to add some animation, kind of rippling in the clouds, making it look more like a video. Of course, this is way too much just to showcase what it's actually doing. And now we can increase size maybe. maybe slow it down a little bit to like 5,000. Okay. And like that, you see something happening right here, which is really cool. It's a little bit too much still, but we can just go to the amount and set it to something like 3. You basically have to tweak until it looks good on your footage, because if you're working with a different sky, you'll need different values. And that's basically halfway the effect. So it's super simple to create an awesome storm scene in Adobe After Effects following our tutorials. So definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more epic stuff. Let's continue. We're going to create a new solid layer and call this Rain Effects. Next, we're going for Effect, Simulation, CC Particle World. And in here, we want to go for the grid, disable the grid so we see a little bit more of our scene. Go into the producer, increase the Z radius, and also move it up into the sky. So this is going to be our rain. I'm going to solo it for now. It's already looking pretty cool. For the physics, we want to use an explosive. The gravity can be a little bit faster, so set it to 1. And we're also going to drag over the solid layer so it's already spawned at the beginning of our video. So this is basically our rain. We just have one problem, and that's rain is not yellow. As long as toilets are not flying in the air. This is not the color it should be, so we're going to the particle and change the color to a muddy color. Everyone thinks water equals kind of bluish colors, but rain is actually not blue. We have to go for a brown kind of dirty color, desaturated, something like that will look most realistic. Of course, you can add a little bit of aqua color and just desaturate that as well, but this is going to be the more accurate colors for rain. Now we can set a particle type to a faded sphere, which are basically small circles, and rain are small circles, but because they're going so fast, you see those lines. So what we will be doing is decrease the size here to something like 0.1 and 0.1. Increase the birth rate quite a lot. Quite a lot, I said. Okay, there we go. And then we want to say like 0.0505. There we go. And we want to enable motion blur for this scene. And then we want to apply a effect, color correction, curves. And here we can play with the brightness of our rain. Then we can unsolo this and see it on top of our footage. We can toggle the switches and set the blending mode to something like additive, so you see it a little bit better. That's completely up to you. Play it around a little bit until you think it looks good. Next, you can also create a new camera and make it 24 millimeters. Bring it in there just so you see the rain coming a little bit more clearly. And then we can also move or orbit our camera to decide if our rain is actually flying straight to the bottom or actually coming from an angle here. So we can kind of move that like this. That's just optional. You don't have to add the camera if you don't want to, but I do think that additive is a little bit too much. I'm just going to set it to normal. And then lastly, you want to, of course, adjust the colors of a storm. It's not a sunny and nice color today. So what we want to do is create a new adjustment layer. Either you want to color grade it with some tint effects and curves and play around with all that stuff, but you can also go for effects, color correction, lumetri color, go to the creative tab and browse for our night LUT here, which you can get on our website. And if you open that up, immediately you'll have a storm scene. And you can also duplicate your first footage here, storm footage, duplicate it, press M on the keyboard, delete your mask, bring it on top. And here we do want to delete the advanced spill suppressor, go for effects, color correction, tint, effects, color correction, levels. And we want to bring kind of the white here. We want to bring that into our shot, but we also want to add the black from our tree here. Something like that. And then we can duplicate our footage once more and click on the one below it, delete to effects and set it to Illuma inverted matte. And that way we get something like that. And again, advanced spill suppressor. There we go. And now our tree is in front of our shot again. Obviously, you'll just need to mask out that part, so we're just going to mask around the tree. and bring the adjustment layer on top. And if you feel that the branches aren't looking too great, you can still play around a little bit more with the levels, adjusting these points until it looks good. So one more thing when it storms is lightning. So we want to add some lightning in our scene. To do that, it's super simple. We want to create a new adjustment layer. We're going to create or rename this to lightning and add an exposure effect to this. Here we really want to increase the exposure just like this. Maybe decrease the gamma, play around with it. And then we want to go with the pen tool and key around parts where it actually lights up. Then we want to press F on the keyboard, feather it quite a bit, and then bring it below our footage right here, so it's only in the background. Next we can add a tint effect here and give it some kind of bluish color. Something like this. And then we want to click on the stopwatch for the exposure, go 1 frame back with the page up key, set it to 0, press U on the keyboard to see the keys right here. If I zoom in, so we have 0. Then we set it to a specific value, go 1 further, set it to 0.2 for example, really play with these settings and set it again to maybe 5, or 5 is a little bit too much, 3, 1, 2, 0. And we basically want to trim it where it starts. So right here, we're going to cut off our adjustment layer, and then right here, go to split layer and just delete this part. And that way you get something like that. And then of course you can cut in between these, so we have some cuts in there. Duplicate it, move it over, maybe click on the mask, move one over here so we have one in the background, put 2 on top of each other or kind of crossover. So moving these over, you get some of these effects. And of course you can click on your storm footage, go to effect, color correction, exposure, and here we go 1 step back, click on the stopwatch for the exposure at 0, and then when you see the effect, you just want to simply increase it a little bit, and then go 1 further and set it to 0, and that way your scene will also light up with the lightning. But what I prefer to do is click on the footage, duplicate it, and delete my exposure right here, and then click on the one that we just did with the exposure, and click on the ellipse tool, make a big ellipse from the stop here, set it to intersect, and press F on the keyboard and feather it quite a bit. And then you can move around with this, so we only have like the top parts lighting up, and that's getting a little bit more advanced, but then you have something like that. And that's basically it. So now you have your effect. Of course, if you want to kind of adjust your camera movement towards your storm that you have, you can always apply a simple camera shake effect on top of your footage using Adobe Premiere Pro and our camera shake preset, which you can get on our website. We'll put a link in the description below. I know you can make some really cool stuff with this, so if you came up with something, definitely post it on Instagram and tag me at Ignace Aleya. I'm super excited to see what you guys can come up with. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more, and definitely check out our website. We have a bunch of awesome tools for any digital creator, and if you buy something from our website, it helps to support this channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.
It is looking very nice.
It's looking very nice. We talk about very beautiful things in the microphone.
Kun je eens een keer in de lens kijken?
Go up, go down. Go up, go down. Go up, stay. What? Actually stay.